Hello friends, my name is Dr. Rajesh Kumar Srivastav, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, the BHOPAL School of Social Science. Today I am going to discuss about the operating costing. This is the second video lecture. In first part I have covered the theoretical part of this operating costing, and this second video this is the second part in which I am going to cover practical portion operating costing. Before doing the operating costing practical portion, I would like to introduce or discuss about the little bit knowledge about the what is operating costing. Operating costing method is one designed to ascertain and control the cost of the undertaking which do not produce product but which renders services. The costing method apply in service industries as known operating costing, means the industry which do not produce any goods, they only provide the services, they come under this section. Before solving the practical portion of operating costing, I would like to discuss about the format, which I have already discussed in the theoretical part, but before the solving we must know about the process. In the specimen of operating cost sheet, here is the right hand side number of vehicle number, month ended in which it is for which month we are preparing this, carrying capacity, running kilometers, this information will be filled. This format will be divided in two parts, section A, section B. In section A, you will write down the standing charges, or we can say fixed charges, means the charges which is fixed by nature, whether your services are providing or not. These are depreciation of vehicle, insurance of vehicle, road tax or license fees, interest, administration fees, driver's salary, conductor's salary, cleaner's salary, supervisor's salary. These are the some expenditures which are covered, which are already in a fixed nature. So, we will write down in this, and this will be the total of A here. And whereas part 2 means part B is concerned, in which we will include variable charges, or we can say running charges, means when the we will provide the services, right, like garage staff salary, garage other expenses, repair and renewal charges, overhauling expenses, cleaning expenses, and oil, petrol. These are the running expenses which we will mention in part 2, which is B section. So, we will here total of we have total of B, and total operating cost will be section A plus section B, means part A and part B we will add, then write down, that will be your operating cost. This is the format. Major formula which we have to apply for calculation, for example, total kilometer we want to calculate, in which number of vehicle multiplied by the number of days running, number of trip in a day, and distance cover in a trip by a vehicle. If we talk about the total passenger kilometers, number of vehicle, how many vehicles are running, number of days in a month, how many days in a month the vehicle is running, multiplied by trip, multiplied by the distance cover in a trip by the vehicle, number of passenger traveling in the vehicle. We calculate this, we will find total passenger kilometers. If we talk about the total ton kilometers, is related to carries vehicle. Number of vehicle is there, multiplied by number of days running, number of trip in a day, distance covered in a trip by the vehicle, and total quantity in ton means weight we have to multiply. So, multiplication of these item you will get total ton kilometers. Operating cost per ton kilometer which we have to calculate, in which we will calculate total operating cost divided by total ton kilometers. If we calculate this, we will find the operating cost per ton kilometer. If we talk about the operating cost per passenger kilometer, so total operating cost divided by total passenger kilometer. In this way, we will calculate operating cost passenger kilometer. These formula are utilized for calculation. Further two formulas are also given, which is absolute tons kilometer, in which weight in tons multiplied by kilometer running means what the distance is covered by the vehicle multiplied by the weight which carries by the vehicle. Number 2, commercial ton kilometers, average load and total kilometers travelled. These two items will be multiplied and we will calculate in this manner commercial tons kilometers. Here we have a numerical question which we will try to solve what we have learned. Question is question number 1. From the following information, calculate total kilometer and total passenger kilometers. Further details are given. Number of buses 5, days operated in month, which is 25 days. Trip made by each bus, that is 4. Distance covered by the vehicle, that is 20 kilometers long from one side. Capacity of bus is 50 passenger. Normal passenger travelling 90% of its capacity. Here is the solution. First we will calculate total kilometers. Total kilometer formula is number of buses multiplied by the operated days, distance covered, number of trip. We have the data. Number of buses are 5, days operated in a month, that is 25, multiplied by the distance which is 20 kilometers one sided, it will return means 2, multiplied by 4, trip made by each bus which is given here 4, this is the 4, multiplied, the calculation is 5 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 4, the calculation will be 20,000 kilometers. It means the vehicle is running 20,000 kilometers. Now we have to calculate total passenger kilometers. The formula is distance kilometers which we have already calculated, capacity of bus, normal passenger of travelling. So, distance was covered by the vehicle, that is 20,000 kilometers, multiplied by 50 which is the capacity of bus, and the 90% of capacity they are using, it means 20,000 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 90% of capacity which is utilized. The calculation of this is 9 lakh passenger kilometers. This is the way to calculate. It is a very simple process. If we know the formula, it is very easy. Apply the formula, whatever the data is given, we will in a position to solve. We move for the second question. A lorry start with a load of 20 ton of goods from station A. It unloaded 8 tons at station B and rest of the goods at station C. It reaches back directly to station A after getting reload with 20 tons of goods at station C. The distance between A and B, B to C and then C to A is respectively A to B distance is 80 kilometers, B to C distance is 120 kilometer and C to A distance is 160 kilometers. Compute absolute ton kilometer and commercial ton kilometers. So, first of all we will know about the what is the formula which is applied for the absolute ton kilometer, which is distance multiplied by the load, whatever the load is carrying by the vehicle multiplied by the distance which is cover. We see before solving the question, we will see the diagram. What is the, here is A, B and C. A to B, it takes 20 ton and distance is 80 kilometers. B to C, what carry 20 kilometer was from A to B minus unloaded, that was 8 ton. So, rest amount ton was 12 ton. And C to A, here the distance is, B to C distance is 120 kilometers. If we talk about the C to A, it carries 16 ton material and distance cover 160 kilometers. So, this is the diagram on the basis of we will try to solve the question. Means A to B distance is 80 kilometers and ton which is carried by the vehicle, that was 20 ton. From point B to C, the distance was covered, that was 120 kilometers and load was 20 minus 8 because 8 was unloaded at B. It carries 12 ton B to C and again C to A, it carries 16 ton weight and distance was covered 160 kilometers. Here we have formula tons kilometer, absolute ton kilometer which we have to calculate. The formula is distance covered multiplied by the load carries by the vehicle. A to B, we have 80 kilometers and 20 tons. 80 kilometer distance cover and 20 ton, that was the weight multiplied, plus 20 kilometers B to C was the distance and that the weight was 12 ton. Here we will multiply it, then plus 160 kilometers was the distance from C to A and the load was loaded 16 ton, we will multiply it here. 80 multiplied by 20, that is 1600, plus 120 multiplied by 12, that is 1440, plus 160 multiplied by 16, that multiplication is 2560. If we add these three items, the sum will be 5600 ton kilometers. It is the answer for the absolute ton kilometer. Now, the question second part is commercial ton kilometer, which we have to calculate, in which formula is distance multiplied by the average load. Distance which is covered by the vehicle and average load means total load which carries by the vehicle, we will add and multiply divided by the 3, because 3 points were there which is carried. So, average of this load we will calculate and add of the kilometers and multiply it. So, kilometer A to B was 80 kilometers which covered by the vehicle. B to C distance was covered, that is 120 kilometers, plus C to A distance was 160. We will add this item, it will be 360. If we now we have to calculate average load. load was A to B was 20 ton, here is B to C load was 12 ton, this is 12 ton, plus C to A ton was 16 ton carries, this was. Add these 20 plus 12 plus 16 and divided by 3, it will be the average load. So, average load become 16 and distance covered by 360 kilometers. 360 kilometer multiplied by average load, that is 16. The answer is 5760 ton kilometers. This is the very simple method if you know about the formula. Let us move for the next question. Now, here is we have question number 3. From the following information, calculate the cost per passenger kilometer. Information is given. Insurance premium 12,000, salary of driver is 10,000 rupees, salary of cleaner is 5,000 rupees, repair 15,000 rupees, petrol cost is 12,000 rupees. Number of buses 5, days operated 25, trip made by bus, that is 2 trips, distance of route 20 kilometer from one side. Capacity of bus is 40 passenger, 40 passenger can travel. Normal passenger travel 75% of its capacity. First of all, we will calculate the total kilometer, then we will calculate total passenger, we will apply the formula. To calculation of total kilometer, 5 buses multiplied by 25 days, 2 trips and 20 kilometers what distance was covered from one side, it was 2 sided, so multiplied by 2. So, 5 multiplied by 25 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 2, the answer is 10,000 kilometers. So, total kilometer running is 10,000 kilometers. Now, we have to calculation of total passenger kilometer, means the 10,000 kilometers multiplied by the capacity of bus. 5 buses multiplied by 25 days, 2 trip was taken, 20 kilometer was the distance cover, 2 time, and capacity was 40, but usually 75% passengers were travelling. So, calculation of these things will be 3 lakh kilometers distance. Operating cost sheet, in this manner we have to make particular total cost per passenger kilometer. Section A, in section A, standing charges are there. Insurance premium 12,000 rupees, driver salary 10,000 rupees, cleaner salary 5,000. The sum of these items 27,000. It is the standing charges, section A part is 27,000. Standing charges rupees 27,000 divided by 3 lakh kilometers, which was the distance covered by the vehicle. We divide 0.90 paise will be the per passenger kilometer. If we talk about the running charges, which is the section B, repair charges 15,000 divided by the 3 lakh kilometers, 0.05 paise. Petrol charges, which is running charges, 12,000 divided by 3 lakh kilometers, it is 0.04 paise. Sum of per passenger kilometer is 0.80 paisa. It is our operating cost per kilometer. This is the way to calculate. Further, we see the next question, question number 4. A transport service company is running 4 buses between 2 towns, which are 50 kilometers. Sitting capacity of bus is 40 passenger. The following particulars were obtained from their book for April 2011. Wages of driver and conductors and cleaners, these are given 2400. Salary of office staff and supervisor staff, that is 1000. Diesel, oil and other charges were 4000. Repair and maintenance charges 800 rupees. Taxation, insurance, etc. is 1600. Depreciation on vehicle is 2600. Interest and other charges were 2000 rupees. So, total expenses incurred by during this, that is 14,400. Actual passenger carried were 75% of the sitting capacity. All the 4 buses run all the days, means 30 days or entire month. Each bus made 1 round trip per day. Find out the cost per passenger kilometer, which we have to calculate. So, before solving the question, some calculation we will have to calculate, then we will calculate the operating cost. First of all, we will calculate total kilometer running, number of buses multiplied by number of days, distance cover, 2 trip is there. So, 4 buses were there, 30 days in a month, 50 kilometers was the distance cover and 2 trip was there. So, total running in a month, that was 12,000 kilometers. Now, we have to calculate total passenger kilometer running. So, total kilometer which we have calculated, that is 12,000 kilometers multiplied by number of passengers capacity. 12,000 kilometer, that was the distance covered. 40 were the capacity of bus and 75% of the capacity was utilized. 12,000 multiplied by 40 into 75%, the total passenger will be 3,60,000 kilometers. Total cost expenditures were incurred 14,400. Passenger kilometer is 3,60,000. Cost per passenger which we have to calculate, that is 4 paise. Mr. Manish runs a tempo services in a city. He furnish you following data and wants to compute the cost per running kilometer. Here they are running 2 vehicles, vehicle A and vehicle B. Road and license fees is 750 for vehicle A, 750 for vehicle B. Cost of vehicle is for A, that is 25,000, for B, that is 15,000. Supervisor and salary per annum 18,000 for A, 12,000 for B. Garage rent for A 850, for B 500. Insurance premium for A vehicle, that is 1600, for vehicle B 550. Driver wages per hour, that is 4 and for vehicle 4. Cost of diesel per liter is 1.5 for vehicle A, 1.5 for vehicle B. Repair and maintenance charges 1.5 for vehicle A and rupees 2 for vehicle B. Tire cost per kilometer rupees 1 for vehicle A, 80 paisa for vehicle B. Kilometer run per liter, that is 6 rupees for vehicle A, 5 rupees for vehicle B. Kilometer run during the year, that is 15,000 kilometers, and by the vehicle A and by vehicle B, that is 6,000 kilometers. Estimated life of the vehicle is 1 lakh kilometers, and for vehicle A and for vehicle B, that is 75,000 kilometers. Charge interest 10% per annum, cost of vehicle. Vehicle run 20 kilometers per hour on average. Operating cost formula, this is the format in which we have to calculate. This is the section A in which we will calculate standing charges. Vehicle A, vehicle B. Interest for vehicle A is 2500 rupees, for vehicle B is 1500 rupees. Road license fees for vehicle A 750, for vehicle B 750. Supervision and salary charges for vehicle A is 1800, for vehicle B is 1200 rupees. Garage rent for vehicle A 850 and for vehicle B 500. Insurance 1600 rupees for vehicle A, vehicle B 550 rupees. The sum of vehicle A, that is 7500, sum of vehicle B, that is 4500 rupees. Maintenance charges section B. Repair and maintenance charges were for the vehicle A, that is 22,500, for vehicle B 12,000 rupees. Tire cost, that is 15,000 rupees for vehicle A and for vehicle B 4,800 rupees. Sum of A, that is total of B is 37,500 rupees for vehicle A, 16,800 for vehicle B. Operating charges for running charges, that is at the time of running. Driver salary, which running was 15,000 multiplied by 4 divided by 20, for vehicle is calculation 3,000. As vehicle B is concerned, 6,000 multiplied by 4 divided by 20, amount is 1200 rupees. Cost of diesel for vehicle A, 15,000 kilometers running was, and 1.5 rupees multiplied divided by 6. The calculation 3,750. For vehicle B, 6,000 rupees multiplied by 1.5, 6 divided by 5. Amount is 1800 rupees for vehicle B. Depreciation for vehicle A, that is 25,000 multiplied by 15,000 divided by 1 lakh kilometer, that was the running. The calculation of this 3,750 rupees. For vehicle B, 15,000 multiplied by 6,000 divided by 75,000. The calculation is 1200 rupees. Sum of vehicle A 10,500, for vehicle B 4,200. Sum of A section, B section and C section, we will add these for vehicle A and B separately, that is 55,500 for vehicle A, 25,000 for vehicle B. We have to calculate operating cost. 55,000 divided 55,500 divided by 15,000 kilometer, that is 3 rupees 70 paise for vehicle B. Okay. For vehicle B, sum is 25,500 divided by 6,000, that is 4.25, 4 rupees 25 paise. For vehicle A, 3 rupees 70 paise. Thank you. That's all about the practical portion of operating cost. In this manner, you will be able to solve the operating cost of vehicle.